Labour Party has again reiterated that the ruling of various election tribunals and the Court of Appeal against its gubernatorial candidate, Honorable Chijioke Edeoga, and some members of the party's federal and state legislators in Enugu State do not reflect the electoral position of the people of Enugu State and Nigeria as a whole. The party, in a statement on Monday, that the election tribunal in Enugu and Court of Appeal in Lagos rejecting its weighty evidence that it won the March 8, 2024 gubernatorial election has left many political and judicial watchers stunned. What are the evidence? The PDP gubernatorial candidate, announced soon governor of Enugu State, Mr. Peter Mba, was at the time of the election not qualified to contest the election of the 2023 gubernatorial into the office of the governor of Enugu State, having presented a forged NYSC discharge certificate to INEC in contravention of Section 182, subsection 1J of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Evidence to prove this came from the NYSC Director of Certification, who was subpoenaed by the tribunal to testify that Mba was parading a forged NYSC certificate. Earlier before this, the Director General of the NYSC had gone on national television to mention Arise TV to say that Mba was parading a forged NYSC certificate. The Labour candidate also tendered an NYSC disclaimer, later dated 2nd February 2023, which was admitted as exhibit by the appeal court, by the tribunal and the appeal court. Also tendered was a letter of appointment dated July 14, 2003, appointing Governor Mba as Chief of Staff of the then Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Chijioke Edeoga, when he claimed to be serving in Lagos as a core member. Also tendered in evidence from INEC staff was Mba's Form EC9, nomination form and affidavit for personal particulars. And it was confirmed that the said NYSC certificate was attached to his form as certified copy revealed. We also tender, but to reject by all tribunal and court of all the evidences tendered were rejected by the tribunal and court of appeal as not enough to of various witness to statement confirming overvoting, the act of non-compliance, complained by our candidate in Nkanu East and Imboni North local governments, and failure of INEC to cancel the result in places where there were incidences of overvoting and demanded by the Electoral Act. In Enugu, the Labour Party need to remind Nigerians and all lovers of democracy that the party won 2 of the 3 Senate seats, 7 of the 8 House of Representatives seats, and 14 majority of the 24 State House of Assembly seats. But INEC and the judiciary are trying to give the governorship to another party. Our position is that if this stands at the Supreme Court, 4 major and dangerous things will happen. The will and desire of Enugu people, as demonstrated in their voting pattern on March 8, would be undermined. Forgery of NYSC certificates and indeed other certificates will be legalized. NYSC as a military whose oversees the NYSC as a paramilitary body will be dented. Our appeal, therefore, is for Apex Court to look judiciously at all evidence and the law in Enugu case and do justice and nothing short of that. Actually, it is a concern all well-meaning Nigerians should raise. We are law-abiding citizens. In other clime, something else will have happened. And that is why in this statement we're saying, if the Apex Court continue to harbor and support and collaborate with the rascality going on in lower courts, then it is unfortunate. A lot of our judicial process, a lot of our judicial provision will be taken for granted, and we don't want that to happen. So we continue hope and make this clarion call for the Apex Court to do justice and nothing short of that. Let it not undermine the will of the people. Let the judiciaries not push people to the wall. We still are hopeful.
No, the Deputy National Chairman would like to.
Okay. Thank you very much, National Secretary. Yes, as a responsible organization and a democratic organization for that matter, continue to believe in the judiciary. We don't have any other one. Believing that all of them are not the same. Yeah. Among politicians, there are good people and there are bad people. Within the security architecture in Nigeria, we have good ones and we have the bad ones. Among civil servants, public servants here and there, we have the good ones, we have the bad ones. So it's no game saying that within the judiciary we have the bad eggs and we have the good ones who are determined to fight for the integrity of judiciary and democracy. So for that, we will continue to be hopeful, knowing fully well that when a drum is getting too loud, it's getting ready to burst. And we hope that it will get to that stage in Nigeria. It's a democracy, government of the people, for the people, by the people. And the choice of what to do rests on the people. And whatever they ask us to do, be rest assured that we will follow. That is it. Thank you.
My concern, sir, my name is...
Document, you present a document that is forged. That's a criminal offense. And if presenting forged document is part of those things that can disqualify you from being a candidate in an election, the Supreme Court will do justice to this case, regardless of what the lower court say concerning it. If of course, it's obvious that the certificate, the NYC discharge certificate that this man presented was forged. And if you come with a forged document and the court uphold the forged document as not meaning anything against the electoral process, it therefore means that bringing forged documents for an election will no longer be legal. So we are going to create a precedent, because somebody will come and say he has a master's degree that is from Oku University, which doesn't exist anywhere, and you find it difficult to challenge that because there's a precedent. So whether it is NYC or a degree certificate, a forged document is a forged document, even if it is declaration of this that you are forged. A forged document is a forged document, regardless of what document it is.
All right.
I also think we should not reduce the case of the party to certificate. We are talking about certificate. It's to show, it's a reflection of the attitude of the person who stole these votes. Every day is for the thief, one day is for the owner. The fact that people have been stealing and getting away with it does not mean that we continue to condone evil. The fact that some people have gotten away does not mean that this man will get away. They are stolen, some other people have gotten away with stolen mandate, but he will not get away. because we have shown that we won from polling booth to polling booth. That is part of our case. It's not limited to certificate forgery. But a little levels the whole lump. That shows the kind of person. And we should recognize that our leadership is a reflection of who we are. Are we going to tell the whole world that is our best level, these people are putting forward? Are we going to continue to tell the world that this is our character? So I think as the apex court, they have a duty, an onerous duty, to show that Nigerians are not that type of people. And they can now see, go back, look at the document very well that presented, that we won this election. And that is important. Not only because of we beat the mark, they should see it in our evidence there and declare us winner of that election.
And in addition to that, please, the electoral, the national chairman and the national secretary will be fined 10 million naira each or 2 years imprisonment. So if that provision exists, so why is it that it is found evidently that some people, some candidates have submitted a forged document and they are not being punished by the law? As the legal advisor says, are we setting a precedent for the future? Thank you.
The last question.
So clearly. So if somebody now rule against a clear document, should we say that person has done justice? It's just that people decide to keep quiet. You know, people became mute. You know, and in psychology, industrial psychology, since you say it's not a question, it's just in industrial psychology, there's something they call hygiene factor by his bag. When you continue to drop this thing in the bottle, pam, 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 big one will go in, bigger one will go in. By the time you get to the peak, a little and the most smallest item will go in and there will be an explosion. That is what is happening in some African countries. That is what brought about what is happening in the Middle East. That is what led to the World War II. So don't just assume that nothing will happen. The fact that they have done it does not mean that everybody slept over it. It's something, it's a time bomb waiting to explode. But we need, as a people, to begin to mitigate such things and not just sweep it under the carpet.
Yes.
We need to begin to continue to speak, especially for you, the youth. We need to continue to and say this thing is the danger waiting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Indira.